Here we are with Elma Pulido, one of our realtors from Hawthorne. And my name is Hans Badillo. I'm the marketing manager for Casabella Properties. And today we're going to have one session with one of our best realtors, Elma Pulido. She is a realtor in the Hawthorne City in the South Bay area. And actually, we're going to ask some questions regarding some common questions that clients ask often in our consultations and they also through our social media. And we would like, to educate and provide as much information and provide as much value as possible to all the people in our community and social media. So welcome, Elma. Thank you for taking this time to be with me. I truly appreciate it. And yeah, we're gonna so talk a little bit more about real estate. That's what we do. So I guess the first question that I like to ask you is maybe tell us a little bit more about yourself and why do you recommend the South Bay area to live? How long have you been living in these cities? And what would you have to say to someone who is looking to buy in South Bay?
I want to thank you for having me. I definitely am looking forward to helping as many people as I can with this interview. And I was born and raised here in the area. I was born at a UCLA hospital about 10 miles, 10 miles north. Um, I went to all the Inglewood schools, so pretty much I am a local. Uh, I would go to the different churches in the city. If I didn't make it to St. John's, then we would make it to St. Joseph's, which is here in Hawthorne. I now reside in Hawthorne. And so we have so much coming to the city with the Sophie Stadium, the new stadium that's being built, so many jobs. We have shopping centers, SpaceX, a lot of jobs in the city. We have wonderful weather here in the South Bay. We are 10 minutes from the beach. There's a lot of young kids moving in. There's a lot of people like the baby boomers that are, retiring and moving out to, let's say, Palm Springs or the IE to live a more calm life. And so there's a lot going on right now in Hawthorne.
Wow. So you would say that is, like a good place for a family to establish in and, like start and like raising their family here.
We have great schools. I mean, Hawthorne is the city of good neighbors, so that should
Oh,
that
cool.
says a lot.
That's a nice slogan, sorry, for a city. So I'm pretty sure it is a great city. And so let's talk a little bit more about the technical questions that people usually ask. And most of the buyers get concerned about if they'll be able to keep up with the monthly payments of their mortgage, and especially during this time of COVID-19, where like there's a lot of things going on. So, what would you recommend to first-time home buyer to how they can prepare to keep up with these monthly payments? Someone that is looking to buy maybe within 3 to 6 months, how they can prepare for that.
Uh, Definitely, I suggest saving. Now, I know that 10 plus years ago, a lot of loans went into foreclosure, but banks learned from that. Now we have mortgage insurance,
Mhm.
and banks are a lot more strict than they were 10, 12 years ago. So they're really going to look at your saving habits, your spending habits. You can try to reduce your liabilities. Let's say you have a few credit cards that have small balances, try to pay those off. And if you don't pay them off in full, you can always pay them off at least 30% or so.
Mhm.
And just start looking at the neighborhoods. I'm sorry, you can
Mhm.
always drive around and check out the neighborhoods that you would like. Right now, the interest is at an all-time low. And so what that means to the buyer is that they can afford a higher purchase price than they could if the interest was was higher. So I know a lot of uh, clients that I have, they had been waiting for the homes to drop. Now, unfortunately, the
Yeah.
homes not dropping, they are sustaining their value. The amount of homes sold has decreased, that's for sure. But here in the South Bay, the purchase price and the values are still holding steady, because
Cool.
it is a hot market.
And actually, what I've heard, from the trends right now in the market is that a lot of people will move out of the cities, of the big cities. I will want to go to suburbs or nearby cities. I mean, yeah, nearby cities to close to the largest cities, like LA. So South Bay, I think, would be, like the perfect place to go right now, that so many people are working from home and they don't need to go as often as before to the office, so they would rather to look for places that are a little bit more relaxed or calm. So um, make use of this special time of the interest rates, like because they are so low. And just like you said, like South Bay is a hot market, and banks are getting more strict with the conditions. So okay, so thank you for that, Elma. And actually, I was gonna ask you. Um, well, I know that we're having like during this time of COVID-19, it's been very hard. Um, and I know there's been a lot of incentives for renters, but what would you say is the main advantage of buying instead of renting right now?
That is a great question. Renting versus owning. So
Hmm.
renting initially, it seems like it is the lower cost, but in the long run, owning actually ends up being the lowest cost, because initially when you rent, every year you get a rise in your rent, but when you own, the costs are more stable.
Okay.
Um, mhm. Of course, when you rent, you don't have the privacy. You can't, you know,
Mhm.
drop a wall or change your home around. And when you own, you have that flexibility. Also, when you own, you have a tax incentive, and you have more ties to your community, so it's a little more stable than when you rent, because your rent unfortunately will always go up, but your mortgage payment will stay the same in the long
Wow.
run.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that, well, right now, like for example, myself, I'm in like, with my couple, we are in our own house, and that's such a privilege, and I wouldn't imagine like during this time, like being renting. I know there are incentives and everything, but I think you feel more secure. It's also like, and that that this is something yours. This is something that is not going to go away. I mean, and that's is that many people want to buy, right? Um, but the thing is that they don't have like a good credit, and since they don't have a good credit, like as you mentioned, like banks are getting stricter with these conditions, so they need to have a good credit. So what would you recommend to someone with a bad credit?
First of all, it is great to maybe pull your credit report and see where all your accounts, so that you
Mhm.
can see which ones have the highest balances, which ones have derogatory remarks. Sometimes, I mean, it happens to the best of us. Sometimes we're going through a crazy day, week, month, and then we accidentally forget to pay something, and then you pay it late.
Yeah.
So that's a derogatory remark
Like,
on
what
your
would you
credit score.
say is the like the least credit score that someone should have to buy a house?
So interest rates go based on your credit score. So when we're calculating your mortgage payment, your credit score is what determines your interest rate. So in order to get one of the better interest rates, you should try to stay above 680
Mhm.
average credit score, but maybe 720. And if you really want to hit it out of the ballpark, you can go above 800 to do excellent credit and you can get the best rate possible. So, having a good credit score will lessen your interest rate and allow you for more of a purchase price when you're looking for a home. Because other than that, you're going to be paying the banks high interest, and then you're going to get only pre-qualified for a lower home purchase amount. And here in the South Bay, it's kind of it's very competitive.
Yes. Wow. Okay, so it is a high score, but it's not. There's nothing impossible, right? So I'm pretty
No.
sure that we have actually. Yeah. Like, have you had any client with 800 grade score?
Yes, yes. I think that um, if you really put your mind to it, you can get an 800. I mean, credit is so easily obtained that we have a tendency of misusing it, and sometimes we just have to buckle up and say, you know what, I am not going to buy this or buy that, or I'm not going to use that much of my credit. If you have a $10,000 credit limit, try to stay under 30%, maybe 3,000 or less than that. If you open way too many accounts, that goes against your credit. Even though you think you're getting a lot more credit, having too many accounts is not a good thing. So yes, no, I am blessed to say that I have a lot of friends and family that have great credit scores.
Great, Elma. So if someone needs help, with their credit or, more in detail, like help with this, like how they can, and can they reach you? Can they get help from you? Like, can they contact you for that?
Yes, no, we have a great team, whether it be Casa Bella Properties, which is where we do the real estate side. We also have a Casa Bella Service Center. They do taxes, credit repair. If you feel that maybe you need a little help or a little guidance, we can definitely help you with that. Yes, of course. Contact us.
Awesome. And just to close this, this time with you or this session, I'd like to ask, like maybe, yeah, like tell us a little bit more, maybe about one of your past clients or your last transactions. Like, how did it go? A little bit more about your experience handling the transaction with the client.
Well, every transaction has its perils. Sometimes it'll be the buyer side is difficult, or the seller side's a little more difficult. There are different things. I do know that one transaction in particular, it was a probate,
Hmm.
and so I was newer in the field, and this was an experienced agent that had the listing, and so he didn't feel like I had it in me. But thankfully, we have great brokers, great manager in the office, and we had to go to court a few times. There was someone that was wanting to kind of fight for that property, but we actually got it closed. We had to change the lending situation into another program, hard money loan, but because we have a great team, great lenders, great escrow, great management, a wonderful broker that has been in the field for many years, and we got the deal closed, and the buyers are happy. The listing agent ended up being extremely happy at how everything was handled, and that's the best accolades when your colleagues can say that it was a good transaction.
Wow, that's great. It's good to know that, I think through the whole process or the whole transaction, there will always be, some shortcomings, or there are things that will stand between all this, like every transaction has its own things. But a good management team, and I think a great um, that's a good strength that we have in Casa Bella, and is that we have a good support staff that back you up to all the agents and will support you in, during the whole transaction, and of course your professionalism as an agent is very appreciated as well. I'm pretty sure like that listing agent said, "Oh wow," I'm pretty sure he was very very excited for that closing. Um,
He was
but
surprised.
yeah, so well, Elma, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for your time. We truly appreciate that you take this time to share some of your
Yeah,
knowledge and experience with us, and we'll see you in a future session. All right.
sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.